Have you ran into a wall, a pole, or just about anything on the road that can cause some damage like this? Today, we're gonna show you guys how to remove this in just a few easy steps. Now, the problem here is pretty obvious. You can tell this vehicle has suffered a pretty severe paint transfer scuff right here, and it looks terrible. The last thing that you wanna be doing is driving around like this. Now, one thing to keep in mind is this is not a 100% fix just because this door is all jacked up. There's all kinds of dents all over it, but that's not gonna stop us from making it look better. So that's why today we're gonna grab a few Chemical Guys products and show you guys how to remove this the correct way. The first thing that we wanna do is clean the surface. So to do so, we're gonna be using our Speed Wipe Quick Detailer and paired with a microfiber towel. All we have to do is simply spray directly onto the surface. And this is gonna allow us to safely clean the area from any kind of dust, debris, bird droppings. And as you guys can see, it's very quick to do. All you have to do is spray it, wipe it, and you're done. And you can use this as a maintenance for your vehicle. If your vehicle is lightly dusty, maybe you got some bird droppings on there, just go ahead and spray, wipe, and you're on your way to a nice, clean, and shiny ride. Now that the surface is clean, you can see the ugly more clearly. And now we can also inspect it and see what it is that we're gonna need in order to remove it. Now, right off the bat, this thing, it's on there thick. So on top of it, you know, being all scratched up, there's also a lot of paint transfer on there, and that's actually from the paint from the door, the garage door that the owner of the vehicle ran into, and we're gonna have to remove that. And in order to remove this, you're gonna need something that is gonna be like an oil-based product like butter wet wax, which can naturally dissolve these kind of things, or in some of the more severe areas like this little area right here, we may need to resort to a compound like C4 compound and P4 polish. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab those products and I'll be right back. The first product that we're gonna be using is butter wet wax. Now, the great thing about butter wet wax is that it's a wax, obviously, that provides intense shine and protection. It also has cleaning properties. The oils within actually help dissolve any kind of adhesive residue, tree sap, tar, and in this case, the paint transfer as well. So what I'm gonna do first is I wanna test spot this because, you know, we may not even have to resort to a compound. So the first thing I'm gonna do is shake up the bottle of butter wet wax. I'm gonna open up the spout. I'm gonna apply about 3 to 4 drops. Close that up. And then with the butter wet wax, you know, whenever you're applying wax, most of the time you just apply it in straight motion, apply an even layer, let it haze, and then wipe it right off. But in this case, we want to work it in. So what we're going to do, we're going to work it in, and we're going to see how much of this we can remove just by using butter wet wax, which again is a non-abrasive product, so you don't have to worry about cutting on any of your paintwork or your clear coat. And this is a very easy to use product. All you have to do is simply apply it on there, work it in, and that's about it.
5 minutes later.
All right, so we just finished basically doing as much as we could with butter wet wax. After you're done using your butter wet wax, all you have to do now is simply grab your microfiber towel. This is a fresh microfiber towel, by the way, not the same one that I used to wipe off the surface with the Speed Wipe, just to make sure that it's clean, because the last thing that you want to do is scratch the surface while you're trying to remove all these scuffs. And the butter wet wax did an incredible job at removing all the finer stuff. So all the finer paint transfer, it easily got removed, but you can see right here, like the transfer is much heavier right here in that area, especially this area over here, which we haven't even touched yet, and this is basically the bulk of it. So what we're gonna do right now is shift it into overdrive. We're gonna drop the butter wet wax. You know, the butter wet wax did great, but we wanna do something that's gonna save ourselves some time and effort. So that's why we're gonna bump it up with some C4 compound. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab that and I'll be right back. So we have our C4 compound and we have one of our orange Hexlogic hand pads. This is the exact same foam material that we dedicate for our machine polishers, but obviously in a handheld form. Now we also have C4 compound, which C4 is a compound, so it does contain cutting agents that's designed to cut basically the clear coat from any kind of imperfections like scratches, swirl marks, oxidation, etched in water spots. In this case, we're using the strength of it to remove this paint transfer. So as opposed to the butter wet wax, which did great, this is gonna work out much faster, as you guys can see in this little section right here, where the transfer was a lot heavier. right guys, so I just finished removing all the lighter paint transfer on the left side of the door. Now we're shifting our way to the heavy side where it got the majority of the paint transfer. Now, one of the questions that I know a lot of you guys may be having right now is, why are you not using a polisher? And if you guys haven't noticed, we're in the middle of a damn parking lot. Sure, polishers are a lot faster of an option when it comes to removing paint transfer and scuffs like this, but we wanted to show you guys that it's also possible to do it by hand with the same products. So let me go ahead and finish this up, and then I'll be right back with you guys for the final results. All right guys, and just like that, we're finally done. And now all we have to do is buff off all the residue of C4 compound and check it out. I mean, from where we started at to how bad the paint transfer looked and how obvious it looked. You saw the white paint that was transferred onto the paintwork right here. Now you don't even see any sign of any kind of paint transfer whatsoever. Unfortunately, there is still this super ugly dent that the owner has to deal with now, but hey, you know what? We did our job. We made it look less noticeable, and honestly, from a distance, if you kind of squint your eyes a little bit, almost looks like a brand new car.